Former President Donald Trump is in Texas today, landing a presidential endorsement from Governor Greg Abbott and promoting his immigration proposals as he seeks a second term in the White House. Trump's new immigration agenda would mark a dramatic escalation from his first term as illegal border crossings continue to surge. NewsNation correspondent Jorge Ventura joining us live with a breakdown of it all. Jorge.
Natasha, Governor Greg Abbott and former President Donald Trump teaming up today here in South Texas to give out meals to Texas National Guard soldiers and state troopers. During that event, Abbott did praise Trump's hardline immigration policies, and he did endorse Trump for president.
It's official. Texas Governor Greg Abbott has endorsed former President Donald Trump for president. Abbott and Trump spent Sunday afternoon handing out meals to Texas National Guard soldiers and Texas Department of Public Safety troopers during an event in Edinburgh. Governor Abbott is a longtime ally of the former president and praised Trump's hardline immigration policies that include Title 42, Remain in Mexico, and ending the catch and release policy.
The men and women of the Texas National Guard and Texas Department of Public Safety, they should not be here at this time. They should be at home. The only reason why they are here is because we have a president of the United States of America who is not securing our border.
Abbott slammed President Biden's immigration policies, saying they are directly responsible for the record number of illegal crossings into the United States, including a record number of apprehensions of individuals on the terror watch list. After President Biden was elected, Governor Abbott has launched Operation Lone Star, deploying Texas State Public Safety troopers to the border to assist federal agents and deploying razor wire barriers along the border to deter illegal immigration.
I'm here today to officially proclaim my endorsement for Donald J. Trump to be president of the United States of America again.
Abbott's endorsement of Trump snubs Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. This comes as DeSantis has deployed Florida law enforcement and National Guard to the Texas border to assist Texas DPS troopers with the surge of illegal crossings in areas like Eagle Pass. Trump has promised his supporters that if elected president, he will carry out the largest deportation operation in U.S. history, deny birthright citizenship to American-born children of undocumented immigrants, and will implement the Remain in Mexico policy like he previously did. During his speech, Trump said he will make Abbott's job easy when it comes to illegal immigration.
We had the most secure border in our history. Now we have the most unsecure border in the history, I believe, really, of the world. I don't think there's ever been a country in history that's had a border where millions and millions and millions of people are flowing into our country. Nobody's ever seen anything like it.
According to a poll from Pew Research Center, majority of Americans give the U.S. government low ratings for its handling on border security.
I'm honored by the governor's endorsement. That's a big endorsement. He's not free and easy with endorsements. You look at his record. You don't do too many endorsements, I have to tell you that, Governor. So this meant a lot to me, and it's an honor to have come here and to accept it.
Now, Abbott's endorsement for Trump in the 2024 White House race is a major blow to the DeSantis campaign, who was not only seeking Abbott's endorsement, but even went out as far as deploying Florida law enforcement to the border here in Texas to help officials. But it's the former president picking up that key endorsement today, Natasha.
Okay, Jorge Ventura live for us in South Texas on the border. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.